Simo, given what you've been through in the last few years, are you bothering to think about your round one lineup this far out?
We do have to get through Thursday, yeah. We're hoping that wheels turn on that one, that we can... I think we've got probably around the 36 to 38 available, so that's refreshing and some good selection issues.
Is there anyone close or pushing their case that needs to get through Thursday?
There's a few. I mean, the guys who didn't play against Adelaide, the Brockman, Oscar Allen, Ruben, those types of players who are well and truly in the mix, they've been training last week, so just need to get through Thursday, then we can make a call on the rest of the side.
What does a successful season look like?
Well, I've been asked that a little bit, and it's hard to put it in wins at the moment. I think at the moment we want to be competitive, that's our first step. So what we do around the ball, around the clearances, kind of pressure we can sustain and bring, they're the first things we've got to get right. So, being competitive is the first step for us, and then we can worry about winning games after that.
Percentage column this year?
It doesn't matter how you slice it. I mean, the measurements is how competitive we can be, really. So the contest and pressure and the basics of the game, getting 4 quarters together and that's our first step. So we'll get a massive test this week against Port over there, but we've been training it all summer, and we'll get a good look at it this weekend.
The contest you've been big on, what have you taken so far from there in pre-season and coaching?
It's just been, I think every club has the same focus, but we've dialed right in on that. So our ability to play for some more games, I reckon, over pre-season. We've done a lot more match sim, more contest-based drills, and then the guys are recovering a lot better, and the repeat efforts, we're seeing more of that. So until you do it, round one, you don't really know where you're at. So we'll get a good audit this week.
Do you have more than one debutant?
For the club?
We're assuming there'll be one debutant. First AFL game.
I don't know. We've got to get through Thursday. As much as I'd love to say, here's the team, I just can't do it. We need to get through Thursday, but I'm assuming you're talking about Harley is definitely in the mix, so we'll make that announcement when the time's right. And then, there's a few. There's a few without naming them because I don't want to put too much heat on them, but there's good selection this week, which is a really good conversation to have in match committee rather than who's up. We're actually debating the sides, so we haven't agreed on the team just yet, but there's probably 6 or 7 guys fighting for the last 2 or 3 spots.
You said you last had 36 to 38 players to choose from.
Well, it was actually this time last year, so we had pretty good numbers at the start of the year. I think after the Freo game we got hit a little bit. I think we lost 9 that week. But it's a little bit different. The focus this pre-season has been a little bit more combative, and they've got through. I think the kilometres in the legs of the players are a bit different, so maybe they're a bit more durable off the back of what we've done.
When you address the room at the launch, what will your main message be?
It's a good question. I'm still working that out. The messaging for us is we just want to improve. We want to get better. We're pretty clear with our purpose and what direction we're on. So the alignment's there, and now it's just getting to work and hopefully bringing our fans along, for the journey. They're really important. They're part of what we do.
I think it was at this function last year you told us that Nick had the Achilles problem and was going to miss a couple.
Yeah.
Feel different this year, or is there?
I think what we're getting at is last year, all of us were thinking if we get Nick back to his best, we get Luke Shuey, Shannon Hearn, I think there was another one, maybe McGovern, and we're thinking let's get the band back together and we can, give it another tilt. Whereas our focus is different now. Like the list has turned over. I think we're the 3rd youngest. We were the 3rd oldest. So the direction we're on at the moment is probably not about whether Nick's available. It's what we're doing long term. But it's good to have our senior players available, and it's a good pre-season under their belts. Most of them done everything.
Given Matt Flynn's injury, where you wanted Bailey to play, how far has that set you back?
Yeah, it's set us back a little bit. We had some plans in place. We recruited him for a reason, to carry our ruckload, and innocuous knock after the captain's run 2 weeks ago is sort of not scrambling, but Bailey's got to go back to what he's been doing, and he's a bit rusty the first couple of weeks. Just needs to get more contests and get more of a rhythm. But yeah, we'll get Flinny back first 6 or 7 weeks, and then we can reassess there. But in the short term, Bailey's going to have to carry the load again.
Harley, number one draft pick, a lot of hype around him. There's going to be some attention, as there was in the Adelaide game. What did you take of the attention given to him and his response?
I don't think he got any attention in the Adelaide game. It was just a tackle. I'm not worried about that. I don't think he's worried about that. He's not that type of player that gets too concerned about the physicality. So that's not really part of the preparation. Although we got to defend our own, and we'll be doing that if we need to.
You're not playing there this week, but have you got to see Opus Stadium surface recently?
Well, you showed me some photos of Opus about 10 minutes ago, so I have seen it. Looks a bit patchy, but I suppose they'll get it right by the time Freo play there this week, and then we've got them next week against the Giants. So pretty confident they know what they're doing. It happens across the world. I mean, the MCG's done the same thing. So, I think they'll get it right.
Their forward looked very dynamic against Fremantle a couple of weeks ago. In the stage of the journey you're at, do you worry too much about what they're doing, or do you focus on what you're trying to do, or do you have to take care of that guys like Paul Francis and Rosie who's floating out?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, we're pretty focused on what we have to do and the basics of what we're chasing, but we've got to put some work in the opposition as well. They're a pretty good side. They're full strength pretty much. They're pretty dynamic. Got some experienced players and some good leaders. So it's going to be a big challenge for us, but we're up for it. The guys, there's energy at the club. We understand there's going to be some ups and downs this year, but it looks like the boys are up for the fight.
Just watching you train on Monday, there was a lot of energy, energy that we've seen for a while. I know it's round one.
Yeah.
Everyone's up and about round one, but it was still, just have the kids talk that.
It's different. Yeah, there's a different feel at the club. The locker room's changed, with some of the youth coming through, and the way that the new leaders have held themselves. That the belonging piece is really strong, so I think they can be themselves at the club. And when you're young, you're just different. There's less things in your life that get in the way of footy, so they hang around longer. They have, I don't know, immaturity's lifted, and I think we all appreciate it. Yeah, it's been a good vibe.
I noticed there's someone still got sounds from the 80s over the speakers.
The music, yeah. It's not Bikey's mix. He's probably 70s. Look, overall the energy's been pretty good, but I suspect every club's the same. We had the weekend off, good availability on Monday, a good session, so I don't think we're alone there, but you definitely need it.